And they're off in the seventh running of the Pink Ribbon.
It's been called the sport of kings, but horse racing has brought far more than just entertainment to Charlestown, providing a rich history and vital economic impact on the local community and the state.
We start today what may be one of the most important primaries in the United States. The great issue confronting West Virginia in 1960, of course, is economic development.
But by the late 1970s, the track was facing severe competition from Maryland. The state was providing financial incentives for horsemen breeding horses there. But in 1984, with the help of delegates Tom Steptoe and Clarence E. Martin III, the West Virginia Breeders' Fund Bill was passed by legislature, providing breeders and horsemen the funds to grow their farms, upgrade racing stock, and compete with other racing states. This led to renewed interest in West Virginia racing, and in 1987, football great and West Virginia native Sam Huff returned home. He had seen how much a day that showcased the best Maryland-bred horses improved Maryland industry, and he brought that vision to his home state. He led the effort to create the West Virginia Breeders' Classic races to provide those same incentives to West Virginia breeders. Sam's vision has flourished and now provides over $1 million in purses to West Virginia horsemen annually, as well as thousands of dollars to state and local charitable organizations. Then in 1996, Penn National Gaming proposed offering video lottery at the racetrack. Seeing the benefits that this proposal could bring to the horse industry, the community passed the referendum, and Penn National invested $175 million to overhaul the track and build what is now Hollywood Casino at Charlestown Races. It's here that thousands of slot machines and additional table games help provide the revenue for Sam's Breeders' Fund, the horsemen's purses, as well as revenue for the county, city, and state. In the legislation that legalized slot machines, legislature mandated that a specific portion of revenues generated by gaming be invested in a fund supporting West Virginia breeders and owners. The legislature found that horse racing, dog racing, and breeding play a critical role in the economy of the state, enhance the revenue collected at the racetracks, provide vital revenue to counties and municipalities in which activities are conducted, provide significant employment, and protect and preserve green space.
Jefferson County is an ecosystem. It depends on farms, businesses, and labor. Every farm generates more in tax revenue than it requires in services. Every business requires customers who have money to spend. Without Jefferson County farms, we simply won't have a Jefferson County the way we've all come to love it.
These statements have been validated. The horse racing and breeding industries generate more than $252 million in business volume, supporting not just the horsemen, but also area farriers, farmers, vets, banks, feed supply stores, and insurance agents. The industry also creates 5,348 jobs in West Virginia, including breeders, owners, jockeys, trainers, grooms, and exercise riders.
My name's Matt McGowan. Been a rider at Charlestown for 14 years. Had my steady income from Charlestown, West Virginia for 14 years. Came from Midwest, came from Wisconsin. And if it hadn't been for racing in West Virginia, I wouldn't have been able to raise a family here, year-round racing in West Virginia. I wouldn't have been able to raise my daughter here. I spend all of my money in West Virginia at the grocery store, at the bank. I do all of my business in West Virginia strictly because of horse racing in West Virginia. If that wasn't here, and I would still be in Wisconsin, probably be a dairy farmer.
Lately, there's been a lot of talk about decoupling gaming and racing and undoing the legislation that required a portion of gaming revenues be dedicated to supporting the racing industry and infrastructure in West Virginia. The result of this action could be devastating to the West Virginia horse industry.
Live thoroughbred racing is extremely critical to Jefferson County. It's a cornerstone of our economy that's been here for many, many, many decades. And 20 years ago, the state legislature adopted laws that allowed video gambling at the tracks, and that was great. Everyone embraced that. The voters passed the referendum. But now there's sort of a second look at that 20 years later, and some want to reduce the amount of money that goes into live racing. That would be a serious, serious mistake in that you will potentially destroy thoroughbred racing here in Jefferson County. That's thousands and thousands of jobs, all the way from the jockeys and the owners and the trainers, all the way through to the farmers that sell the hay, Tractor Supply, Southern States, everyone. We've seen that happen when a large business goes out of business. in Jefferson County when Dixie Narco went out. It even hurt the banks. So what I ask the legislators and everyone to think about is be very measured in your approach to this. We hear legislators all over, particularly in West Virginia, talk about jobs, job creation, jobs, and that's all great, but you must be mindful to protect the jobs that we have.
This is one of the most personally troubling issues I hear, because I hear some politicians in other parts of the state say that we're subsidizing horse racing by sending money back to Charlestown. What happens is the money is generated in Charlestown, sent to Charleston, where it's taxed, and then the politicians decide how much of our money they're going to send back to us. I ask the question, who's subsidizing whom?
Thoroughbred racing continues to provide a boost for tourism, as well as thousands of jobs and millions of dollars of positive economic impact, proving that the legislature was correct in 1996 when they stated that a substantial interest exists in protecting and preserving these industries. Horse racing in West Virginia is not just a job, it's a legacy.
Field gate to wire. Julie's Jewelry, a big effort, will be second best. Flattering B was back in third, and for fourth was Checkup from Z Nickup. Unofficial winning time 1:23 and 4.